Mate, what's Prey?
Prey, mate. I'm into it. I'm into it. It's inspired, very inspired by System Shock, BioShock, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so
that's the seller. That's the seller.
I know. We got in contact with Bethesda, and they contacted us back and said, "We'll pay you some money if you come down to that London, mate.
That London.
To the Bethesda studios. And
So
try the game
Hizzo.
out." Yeah, exactly. They didn't pay for our opinion though, so it doesn't matter if we liked it or not.
So if it is shit,
we can say
you're about to be told if it's
yeah,
shit.
it's pretty good. So we travelled down to that London, and also Bethesda is running a competition, bruv, where you can win, surprisingly, a copy of Prey, but you can also win a PS4 Pro.
Such an arsehole.
One of these. You don't get a VR though, so like that. Yeah, pretty good. And 500 quid's worth of stuff. It's one of them Facebook competitions, so links down below and all that good stuff. So what they gave us to play when we were down in that London, in the Bethesda studios, where they've got a big pit point and all that shit, where I stroked his nuts, is the whole intro of the game. It has mad spoilers, but don't worry, we won't spoil it for you. And also, much later in the game when it gets to unlock. It wasn't like play the whole game. They gave us these 2 huge sections. They gave us quite a few hours with the game to then give our opinions on all the things in there. So that's what we're going to show you today. All right? Enjoy.
Select character.
Oh, you're gonna pray, mate?
Let's pray! Oh, I did feel bad with the girl down at Bethesda every time she said, make sure you tag everything, let's pray. She was like,
Let's pray.
I do like the hashtags, though. They gotta bring the game together, you know what I mean?
They bring in a community,
They're the signal, they're the absolute signal of what we're in for. But is it what we're in for, though? Little different than what we expected. Little different from the trailer.
A lot different.
A lot different, because we thought we were in for a horror game, mate. We almost thought we were for FPS Dead Space. And we're not, actually. What we found is something that wears its inspirations on its sleeves. Obviously, some of the people, obviously Arcane, so we got the Dishonored thing in there. But some of the people who worked on System Shock and BioShock, and that was me going,
very
oh, hello.
visual.
Yeah. Oh, hello. I'm not even going to lie. As soon as we came back, I told our audience, like, we're doing a BioShock playthrough. It's coming up. It totally got me back into it. But let me lay down the story for you. The story. We're going to be playing as Morgan Yu.
Unisex name, mate, for a reason, perhaps?
Yeah, you can be a boy and a girl.
You can be a boy and a girl.
Entirely up to you. That is the only choice you get in terms of character customization that we know of. We did play an early build, but we could be a boy or a girl, and we wake up. If you've seen the trailer, you wake up and your eyes all getting gradually more red and the world's getting more weird.
Oh, there's a reason.
There is an absolutely good reason for that. We wake up there. So the basic premise of Prey is this game actually existed before in 2006, and this is a reimagining. So it's not a sequel.
It's a completely reimagining.
It's a complete reimagining of the first game in this new sort of universe. But the idea is that JFK survived his assassination attempt. This led to us getting attacked by aliens. God damn it.
The aliens wanted him to die.
Yeah,
they were waiting for
dude,
that.
You're supposed to die. And then what that leads to is us capturing the aliens and taking them up to Talos 1, our space station, for study, mate. Examination.
As you would.
Lift your skirt and cough.
Skirt and cough?
Yeah.
Doesn't work on chicks,
I'm a
bro.
science man. Trust me on this one.
God.
I'm a science man. I know what I'm talking about.
All right.
So what we do is we wake up and it's very hard. I've got to say, guys, really hard to talk about this without spoiling the hell out of it because there is about 3 major reveals.
Twists all the way through.
Yeah, everything around you changes and you're like, oh my god, oh no, oh god, all the way through it. But let's say we're taking part in some experimentation that's going on with the alien stuff. And this is leading to the big part of the gameplay, which is very cool. And from there, you're going to end up taking on the story of Morgan and finding out what Morgan's all about and why Morgan's up there. And I have to say, it was a good setup to make me ask those questions, which is all I wanted from the beginning of the game, is set me up some questions that I want the answers to.
Digestible rate, mate.
Absolutely. It's like, okay, that's weird. Why is that? And that's enough to get
But you
invested.
wanted to know.
Yeah,
it wasn't an arbitrary... No, fair enough.
Yeah, still, exactly. It's same as its inspirations. When you get to the Von Braun in System Shock 2, you're like, why are there crazy ghosts walking around here? What? Shodan, what? And same with BioShock, you get to Rapture and you're like, what was that giant robot guy who was mending something? Like, why is this place so weird and underwater? It's that same vibe. That's exactly what they're going for there. So if we shift over to the gameplay then, they have gone with a very replayable route in terms of adding solid RPG elements. And you're going to recognize a lot of these things. You get a huge variety of ways of speccing your character.
Skill trees, mate.
Full-on skill trees. You can be a scientist, engineer, security, energy, telepathy, and something else we'll talk about in a minute. And what you're going to do is pick up neuro mods, mate.
Neuromods?
Neuromods, mate.
Ah, what are neuromods?
Neuromods, mate. They are the things that you jab in your eyes. So in the trailer where her eye's getting gradually more red, or his eye's getting gradually more red, this is you jabbing this giant device with 2 needles, which are...
Very, very, very long needles.
It's a bit severe.
Yeah.
It's a bit severe. You're going to be jabbing these into your eyeball, and that's going to allow you to spec your character. So they are a currency, and we were really looking forward. Because, again, we were still thinking this is a horror game, right? Mm-hmm. So, obviously, with Dead Space, there's something very cool involving your eyeball. I was waiting for. I was like, oh, my God, they're going to do a cutscene where they stick the neuromod in her eye. And when that happens... I was like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. We picked up our first one. So you do find them lying around. And then she goes to do it, and it cuts away. So it's not a horror game. They're not going for that. It's not going to gore you. Yeah, I know you wouldn't have liked that.
No.
But
it would have been a little out of place, though, if they would have shown just that as the terms of horror element.
Oh, I'm fine with it. I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, I get you're fine with it. I don't want to see it. Like, I get where the vibe of the game's going.
Neuromods, mate.
No, mate.
That's what I want. I want Clive Barker's neuromods.
No more neuromods for you.
Yeah, But again, this is all stuff you'll see familiar if you played the System Bioshock influences, where you can spec into, if you want to go run and gun, you could do that. But if you want to go all the way towards like hacking, you could take over machinery, take over security, start messing around with that stuff, or you can go all the way to the more energy side of things. And this is where it ties into the enemies themselves.
Yeah.
The mimics is what they're called, the mimics. So you can probably guess what they do from the name. But the mimics, the aliens...
They take the piss out of you.
They're like, hey, and they go, hey. They could turn into anything, which is what the first enemies do. Now, each different type of alien does something different. So you pick up a research helm called the Psychoscape, which I was a little terrified of. Just playing Mass Effect Andromeda and putting on something where I start scanning a room, I was like, please, God, don't do this. This will ruin your game for a lot of people after recent games. But it's not like that. It's very much like the Bioshock research camera, where you will see an alien, and instead of just going balls to the wall on it, you're going to say, oh, let me have a look at you.
Let's have a quick gander, mate.
Do a spin, bit of a twirl.
Work it.
Work it, and you're going to scan it, and then what you can do is actually learn what that gift the alien has, whatever special ability that alien has.
Also learn its weaknesses, mate, as well.
Yes, you can. And then you can do that to yourself.
That, just as a point of clarification, is the alien skill tree. You actually have to unlock to view what they are by researching the various kinds of mimics and other creatures out there. They stay with the question mark in the skill tree.
Absolutely. Every other tree is fully
it
exposed.
does tell you a requirement. It's not a secret unlock, but to see the joys of the alien tree, you have to scan these mimics.
That's right. They don't want you to know what the aliens do that you're going to come up against.
Yeah, you can't. It's kind of a way of saying, like, you can't just predict what you can unlock. You have to learn from the aliens and maybe sort of adapt to what they do and learn it.
Exactly. So what you can then do is start jabbing alien DNA into yourself. So while the aliens, and this is how they build tension, could jump on tables and turn into cups. They can turn into chairs. And now think about this. You're walking in a room and it seems perfectly fine, but everything in there could be an alien about ready to jump out at you. It could be the ashtray, it could be the bog roll, it can be anything you want.
I fear an element in the game later on where everything in the room is a mimic.
Absolutely, I can feel that coming straight away.
Can you imagine? I mean, like the computer that you were saying in System Shock, where the entire room changes into screens.
Oh, that infamous showdown scene.
Yeah, imagine that with mimics.
Exactly, that's
terrifying.
What I'm going for.
That's exciting to think about.
It is, isn't it? But once you scan it, you then learn to be able to turn yourself into a cup,
you did
into a toilet roll, into a coffee cup, or anything you want to do.
I'm gonna do that. I literally my first playthrough is morph into a toilet roll, block the shitter.
Yeah, absolutely. Game on. I'm right there with you. We'll do the whole stalls. We'll co-op this thing. There's no co-op. Don't do that. But yeah, absolutely. And this is the cool thing about it. This game is built on the idea, guys, of playing how you want to play. They're very much about that, and you can go all the way combat, all the way tech, all the way something else, and you can go all the way to stealth. This is why you can turn into a cup, because you can outfox the mimics. You know what I mean? They won't know you're a cup, so you can end up in a situation where there's two of you who are both cups, eyeballing each other, but none of you know me.
But you weren't even technically eyeballing each other either.
No,
you know why?
both
You're a
just
cup.
pretended. Both just pretended, but it will drain you side.
It'd just be well tense though, wouldn't it?
I think he's in here. Where? I don't know. Yeah, it's a very cool system, actually. It was one that's you're definitely not going to be able to get everything through the game.
That's the important message here.
That's the replayability right there.
Yeah, it's all about replayability, and it's all about combos as well. So similar, again, to the Shock franchise, is you wouldn't just go run and gun most of the time unless you're on easy mode. You would want to be comboing things like plasmids or vigors and all the skills that are similar that you get in System Shock with combat as well. So the big highlight to this is if you're more gunplay, which is what I am. I'm just a cold-blooded murderer, as you know me. There's no mercy. Stick a neuromod in my eye, I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to go absolutely crazy. Why? I've got a needle in my eye. It's madness.
That's madness. It is madness.
It is madness. But so what they do this time is things like, particularly they pick up the glue gun. You get this very early on, GLOO. And what this does is it splooges the enemies.
Glue.
Yeah, it's got its maximum splooge, and it'll start slowing them, and then it'll turn them to a mini statue. It's like a styrofoam thing. It feels very much like Demolition Man.
It did look a lot like the car in Demolition Man.
Yeah, absolutely. And once they're frozen, you can then use your melee weapon to crack them over the head and do way more damage than you could do by just trying to melee them yourself. So it's all about this combo style of attack of mixing it up. But the good thing about the glue gun is it's a utility as well. So you're going to be able to do it like if you've got a sparking electrical
exposed
panel,
wires.
Exposed wires and stuff. You can glue that up, and so you can get past like a hazardous obstacle.
Yep.
Or you can build a wall with it and use it as a platform. You could straight do that.
Or you can literally just build a door.
Yeah, you can block up a door with it,
way.
and they can't get through. It doesn't last very long, but you can do that.
Smite, yeah.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. So the glue gun and all combo fighting is what it's about. So the cool thing is being able to spec your character however you want. And we think you're going to get very different playthroughs if you do that. Because what does it do, mate, if you start jabbing too much alien DNA
Well, this is
in your
it. You
eyeballs?
change your DNA too much, and the computers don't register you as human anymore. So the turrets are going to start firing at you.
Yeah, very different gameplay
mimics.
experience. Because obviously Talos 1 is built to house these aliens. So all the security is built around aliens. But you start becoming an alien. Not cool. That means you're going to be in serious trouble when you're walking through these areas and doing all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of different gameplay elements there.
I kind of feel like that it makes the game I'm getting a feeling of high risk, high reward with the alien gameplay.
Yeah, me too.
That's
I think
what
that's
I'm
going to be
excited to
almost
play
the hard
with that.
mode.
Yeah,
I do feel that way as well. I think that's going to be extremely stealth based because the enemies do have a sort of aggro meter. Once they see you, they don't attack you straight away. They kind of check what you are.
I reckon you could do multiple just with the alien tree because there was a lot in there, and you got things like Psyblast.
Yeah,
so
that's
I think that you could do like an energy. You could do an alien-based run and gun.
No, yeah, definitely. That's what the game's all about. That is exactly what it's about. But they even include that in the gameplay element. So we talked about the guns. So we get the glue gun. We have the shotgun. The shotgun felt really underwhelming compared to what we hoped.
It did. Like, I mean, for me, example, because I played The Last of Us this week, and that's how I see a shotgun in a game is if I'm point blank and I nail you with the shotgun, I expect you to die, Mr. Bond. I want to feel mean. Yeah.
It's not quite there, but they did say that there's some stuff still to be fixed. So hopefully that's one of the things that we suggested is like you should really beef up the shotgun a little bit. On top of that, they gave us a crossbow. So we thought Half-Life style, this is a sniper weapon. Was not a sniper weapon.
Not. It looks like an actual sniper weapon. I didn't notice. I don't know if they're on the front of it or not. The actual Nerf bolts that are in it.
It's a Nerf crossbow.
It's a Nerf crossbow.
So we were looking at each other like, what the hell? Why is
There's
this
actually
Nerf crossbow
a good bit of footage that we got where you slow down time with one of your abilities.
Bullet time is in the game.
Bullet time is in the game as one of your abilities, and you repeatedly shot something, and then when I saw the first one come out in slow motion, I was, what?
And then, so we asked them, we were like, why is there a Nerf crossbow in the game? And they were like, oh, if you're going full stealth, what you can actually do is use the Nerf crossbow to distract the aliens and also to push buttons and stuff.
Yeah,
and I was
at
like,
distance.
oh, okay. That wasn't my immediate thought. So I would hope that you like a splashes in there to explain that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it feels really wonky.
I want you to use the Nerf crossbow.
But it has got a purpose. It is there intentionally.
Use the Nerf crossbow. When I do it, I'm going to use alien telekinesis, mate, to literally pick up a full toilet and throw it at a button. And laugh at you, mate.
Moving on from that then, the other way they've distinguished this gameplay is it really gets quite interesting is how they want you to play. I'm not saying that as shills, by the way. Is that we got a splash screen. We entered an area and they're like, play your way. And what this says is each of the puzzles, such as like a blocked door, like you'd expect in any FPS, has multiple ways of being solved. So if you're more combat orientated like me, I would just kill everything.
Blast through, find the key card.
Find a key card. Or, if you're more stealth-orientated, look for a vent somewhere that you can actually crawl through and get around it.
Yeah, the beauty of that is, though, is because, like I said, in that kind of circumstance where I know there's a stealth element, I'll try and do it. I'll probably mess it up, but I'll still try and do it. And when you're stealthing, you obviously stay to the edges and you stay to cover, and you will naturally find these vents because you're only going to you're only going to get this splash screen once to show you that, look, there is variety in ways that you can do things. So if you are playing stealth, the chances are you are going to find the areas where you should be stealthing.
That's what I definitely hope for, because as a running gunner, I would never have found that vent. I wouldn't have even looked for it. But I can imagine you, like, if you finish the game and then you go back and watch a stream and somebody's doing a different type of playthrough, you'll be like, what? You can do that way?
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing they're going for with it, which I think is very cool. You can also modify your character with different chipsets. You can buffs. You can put buffs into your armor so you can sense morphs better. You can do all these kind of things. That's what they're aiming for with this. So you'll be scanning aliens, but I think it was 5 or 6 times, and that like maxed out all the information. So you're not scanning all the time.
Yeah, I don't even think that's an optional. I don't think that's a necessity, especially if you're going for a more heavy-handed run and gun style. I don't think you need to scan them.
I think it might give you a damage bonus. I wasn't sure on that, but it did in Bioshock.
It does tell you, it does tell you the weaknesses of the aliens, and obviously that research then goes to any alien research that you're doing for the alien skill tree as well.
But you never know. You never know what you're going to pick up later. Some other alien might turn into the minigun. There might be a minigun alien.
Oh, stop.
In which case, you turn into a minigun.
That would be
Megatron
insane.
alien.
Megatron alien.
Classic Megatron, not movie Megatron, mate.
Oh,
not movie Megatron.
What if you got to the point in the skill tree where you could actually bring more mimics towards you and beef you up into a huge mimic?
That sounds cool.
Mind blown, mate.
Mind blown.
The possibilities are endless.
So there you go. That's the gameplay we're going for. That's what we got to play with in our first few hours with the game, which was again, as we said earlier, it was the early game, all the beginning, and then much later in the game we get all this stuff. So our conclusions here: is this going to be the next big Bioshock System Shock thing, which are some of the best games ever made? Don't know yet. Can't say.
I was just going to say too soon to tell, but like I say, for me personally, because I don't play horror games, based on the trailer, it wasn't for me. But then when I saw the gameplay and I saw that it was more of a thriller, but an RPG-based thriller with the skill trees and stuff, then I saw what you was doing through that with the variations of different kind of upgrades and skills. I definitely do want to play it myself now.
Yeah, it is not a horror game. It's
not a horror game.
It's about tension.
Yeah, tension, atmosphere, maybe a couple of jump scares. We had a few there, and even a couple of visuals. A couple of visuals as well, like one of the mimics like killing a human, but it's not horrific, it's not graphic, it's just there to show you, we're the bad guys.
Yeah, the graphics are definitely full-on Dishonored style. It's no surprise whatsoever when you see people, because they look a bit strange and you're like, it's arcade, man.
Caricature, isn't it?
Yeah, it's arcade, man. I know what it's all about. That's all good. And they have a very nostalgic look to the game. I'm not sure if that's going to play well with everybody, but it's like the inventory system is straight from System Shock. So for me, I was like, that's cool.
Yep.
Because I get what they're going for. For other people, I might like, that looks a little dated, but you're just dropping things into squares.
Yeah, for different generations of players, it's the same. It's a more grander scale version of the Resident Evil style inventory system.
Absolutely, and the way they've solved that in the game is a wonderful idea, because all we've talked about so far is like the different ways you can play it. So obviously that means that if you were a full-on tech guy or an engineer guy, you might want a lot of turrets to build. So they can't scatter turrets throughout the level. If you're running gun, they might want a lot of shotgun ammo and glue gun ammo and all kinds of other things around the levels. But if you're going stealth, you probably want a lot of sci-hi posts so you can turn into things and do all that. So they can't just fill the arenas or the levels with stuff. So what they've come up with is this recycle fabricator system.
Yeah.
Where you pick up everything, and it's not a lot, so you're not farming by any means. You then put it in a recycler, which just breaks it down to very simple parts. So if you think about the System Shock chemicals, where there's only like 6 or 7, very simple parts, and then from there you go to a fabricator machine and build what suits your character.
And everything required to build anything is built of these raw components.
Yeah, we didn't run into anything which was like you need this one special thing that you'll have to go hunting for. We didn't find any of that.
Kind of like in Horizon Zero Dawn, it did that. It had base elements and then it had one specific item from a rare mob.
Yeah,
we didn't find that in this. I mean, we're not saying that's a.
It's definitely not in there, but we didn't encounter it.
Exactly that. Yeah. So I like that. I'd like it to stay as that because it makes it. I want to say more realistic, but obviously it's not.
Does,
but you get what I'm
because
saying.
If the levels were packed with everything in there, you would be a killing machine. Because even if you were amateur with everything,
we'd also pick up a load of shit that you don't want to use. Or not going to use.
Yeah, you would never use, or you just have... And because remember, inventory space is a thing in this game. You have a limited inventory space. So it's about tailoring your character and what you're carrying to suit the way you're playing the game. And they had 2 options. Like, we either fill the levels with... If someone's going full turret play, we need to have turrets everywhere, because otherwise they can't play the way they want to play. So they've done this very simple system. We go to the recycler, throw everything in that your character doesn't use, and then build the stuff that your character does use out of that. And I thought that was a really cool idea to go along with it.
Yeah.
I mean, we were going to get this anyway. This is why we reached out to Bethesda. We were like, we want to play Prey. We knew who was involved. We wanted to play it so much. So for me, it's a dead cert. But for Andy, this was a no deal because of the horror element. But now you're in, as you said a minute ago. You're in to get this. So we could give it a recommendation. No problems at all. We enjoyed the hell out of playing it. Absolutely enjoyed the hell out of playing it. So I hope you enjoy it too, and we'll try and get you a nice early look.
Look forward to it, mate, yeah.
All right.
That was pretty good. Yeah, it's all right. I don't know if it's going to be the new Bioshock. I don't know if it's going to be the new System Shock 2. Potentially. I mean, it kicks off with so many questions. And like I say, if you've watched the review now, we totally did not tell you about the multitude of big story twists that happen so quickly in the game.
Well, the thing is, like, because we've only got a certain amount of content that we can show you in an allotted time, is I actually put in the video that try not to look at the subtitles as much because everything is completely out of context. So
yeah, exactly. It's very much.
We did what we could.
The games look cool, but I'm looking forward to. I already know that I was going to buy this game anyway.
Yeah.
Because I love the series. In fact, that's why we reached out to Bethesda in the first place to say, "Can we play Prey? Can we have this?" But what I'm looking forward to is doing the different builds because combat gun shooting doesn't feel that great. So I'm already like, what do I want to go? Do I want to go techie? Because I always like doing turrets and stuff. Maybe that's more your.
You want to be a cup? I like guns, mate.
I thought you were going to say something.
You're an alien. A turd roll.
No, I thought you were going to say cook. Well, there you go. So thank you for looking at our video. If you enjoyed this, check out our previous Mate Swap, which was Albion Online, an MMO.
It was, mate. Let's go grind some rocks.
You quite liked it, though.
I did.
Bye.